Family dismissed my promotion. Again, but this time I used my bonus to buy a garage and start my own business. I posted photos with one line, promotion gift, to myself. Their outrage? Absolutely beautiful. All right, Reddit, let me set the scene here before we get to the part where I basically nuked my entire family from orbit. Context matters here, folks. So grab some popcorn already. I'm Jordan, 32 male. Been doing commercial plumbing since I said screw this to community college at 19. Not because I couldn't handle school, because I was smart enough to not rack up 80 grand in debt for a piece of paper. While my family spent the next decade showing off with my brother Elias's business degree and his professional career, I was out here learning skills that actually keep civilization from falling apart. See, Elias is the golden boy. Always has been. Straight A's through high school, 4-year business degree from state, married his college girlfriend Selena right after graduation, bought some cookie-cutter house in suburban hell with a white picket fence and a golden retriever named freaking Bentley. Me? I'm the family screw-up who chose trades over education. Never mind that I pull down $68,000 annually fixing the infrastructure that lets Elias's precious office building have running water, heat, and working toilets. Every family get-together for 13 goddamn years, same script. Elias gets his butt kissed for his stable career and responsible choices. I get lectured about reaching my potential, and it's not too late to go back to school. Like fixing a busted steam pipe at 2 a.m. in February takes less skill than punching numbers into QuickBooks. The breaking point had been building for 8 years. I'd been grinding toward this moment, studying commercial blueprints at night, memorizing building codes, learning HVAC integration, building relationships with general contractors who handle million-dollar projects. Last Tuesday morning, I'm 40 feet underground, fixing a broken main line that services 6 downtown buildings when my phone rings. Regional Plumbing's corporate office, Margaret from HR. Jordan, this is Margaret from Human Resources. Could you come in this afternoon around 3? Mr. Morrison wants to discuss an opportunity with you. Opportunity. In my world, that either means overtime pay, someone died, or you're about to get promoted to a position that actually matters. The meeting was everything I'd been busting my rear for during 8 years. Jordan, he said, cutting straight to it, I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt here. You're the best field tech we've got, and it's not even close. He spreads out performance metrics across his desk. Client satisfaction scores, contract renewal rates, emergency response times, revenue generation per tech. 94% client retention. You've brought in $2.3 million in new contracts this calendar year alone. Your emergency response average is 43 minutes, compared to the company average of 78. My heart's pounding like crazy, but I kept my poker face. Regional supervisor position opened up when Carlos retired. It's yours if you want it. Base salary jumps to 85 grand. Company F-150 Platinum with full equipment package, health insurance upgrade, and, he paused for effect, a $25,000 signing bonus for bringing your existing client relationships with you. $25,000. More money than my parents had ever seen in one lump sum. I accept. Walking out of that office, I felt like I'd just conquered Everest in steel-toed boots. The first thing I did was call my old man from the company parking lot. Straight to voicemail. Dad, it's Jordan. Got some big news to share. Give me a call back when you get this. Then Mom. Same thing. Voicemail. My brother Elias was next. Straight to voicemail again. I stood in that company parking lot for 20 minutes, holding my phone, watching the excitement drain out of me like air from a busted tire. Same old story. The second Jordan has something good happen, suddenly nobody's phone works. But Elias called me back within an hour last month when his garbage disposal crapped out. Funny how that works. 4 hours later, my phone finally rings. Elias's name on the screen. Jordan. Hey man, sorry I missed your call earlier. Crazy day at the office, you know how it is. Finally, right? Someone in my family giving half a damn about my achievement. Actually, I've got some news too. Got promoted today as well. Senior account manager at Professional Accounting Services. Pretty wild coincidence, right? Same day we both move up in the world. Senior account manager. At his middling accounting firm. The kind of promotion that comes with a 3K raise, a slightly bigger cubicle, and responsibility for processing slightly larger tax returns. That's great, Elias, I said, trying to keep the disappointment out of my voice. Dad's throwing me a celebration dinner tomorrow night. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. The whole family's coming to celebrate. The whole family. For Elias's middle management promotion at an accounting firm nobody's ever heard of. The same family that couldn't return phone calls about me becoming regional supervisor of a $50 million operation. Oh, and Jordan? Mom mentioned you should probably chip in for the dinner. You know how expensive Ruth's Chris is, and you've got that steady plumber income now. Steady plumber income. Like I was some handyman who unclogs toilets for 50 bucks instead of a skilled tradesman who just got promoted to oversee 3 counties. How much are we talking? Probably around 600. 6 people, appetizers, drinks, the works. But split 6 ways, it's nothing. Yeah, including me paying for my own celebration dinner for Elias's promotion, while my own promotion got ignored. I'll think about it, I said. I finished my coffee alone, tasting disappointment with every sip. Wednesday morning, Elias hits me up while I'm troubleshooting a boiler malfunction at Metro Manufacturing. Jordan, man, I need a huge favor. Of course he did. Not, how was your first day as regional supervisor? Not, congrats on the promotion. Just another favor from the family bank. I've got this massive client dinner tomorrow night. Metro Manufacturing, they're worth about $150,000 annually if we land their accounting contract. I knew Metro inside and out. I'd done emergency work for them twice, including the time their entire basement flooded from a burst main line. 18 straight hours in waist-deep water, saving them a week's worth of production downtime. Need an introduction to their facilities manager. You've done work there, right? Maybe you could put in a good word. Let them know professional accounting services is worth considering? There it was. He needed my professional relationships to make his company look legit. The same relationships I'd built over 15 years of showing up at 2 a.m., fixing impossible problems, and delivering beyond expectations. I made the call anyway, because that's what family does. Tom picked up on the second ring. Jordan, how's the new position treating you? Heard through the grapevine that Regional Plumbing promoted you. Well deserved, man. Of course Tom knew about my promotion. Word travels fast in the trades community when someone moves up to regional supervisor level. Thanks, Tom. Actually calling about a favor. My brother's with Professional Accounting Services. They're looking to pitch Metro for your annual accounting contract. I'll give him a meeting. You vouch for someone. That carries weight with me. Tell your brother to call my office Friday morning. That evening, I made the mistake of checking my phone notifications. 6 weeks ago, I'd been accidentally added to the family group chat. Family updates. The conversation from Monday night was still there, right after Elias's promotion announcement hit the chat. Dad, Elias deserves a proper celebration, somewhere worthy of the achievement. Mom, Ruth's Chris. Nothing but the best for our rising star. Elias, should we invite Jordan? He might feel left out. Dad, of course. Jordan should contribute significantly too. At least $600. Kid just got some bonus from his plumbing thing. Mom, good point. About time he supported the family for once, instead of just fixing toilets. Aunt Caroline, what kind of bonus do plumbers even get? Can't be that much. Elias, Jordan mentioned $25,000. Probably exaggerating, but still. They were planning my financial contribution to Elias's celebration before even inviting me, like I was a corporate sponsor instead of family. Dad, perfect. Jordan can finally contribute to something meaningful instead of just crawling around in sewage. Mom, should we tell him about the dinner or just assume he'll contribute? Elias, I'll handle it. Better coming from me. He's more likely to say yes. Dad, make sure he understands the expectation. This family has supported his little hobby long enough. Mom, at least Elias won't smell like pipe dope and sewage at family gatherings. They all laughed at that. Actual ha-ha responses. Making fun of the guy who'd fixed Aunt Caroline's burst water heater for free last winter, who'd replumbed Mom and Dad's kitchen at cost, who'd handled every family plumbing emergency for 15 years without charging a dime. But it got worse. The next conversation happened Tuesday morning, right after Elias asked for the Metro introduction. Elias, Jordan's getting me a meeting with Metro Manufacturing, his client contact. Dad, finally using those connections for something worthwhile. Mom, should we mention Jordan's help when you meet with them? Elias, probably not. Don't want them thinking Professional Accounting Services needs a plumber to get business. Dad, smart thinking. Best if they believe you landed it on your own merit. I screenshot everything. Some instinct telling me this evidence would matter later. These people weren't family. They were users wearing familiar faces. Saturday evening rolled around like a scheduled execution. Same routine we'd followed for 13 years. Mom's pot roast, Dad's war stories about selling insurance in the 80s, and Elias holding court like he was running Goldman Sachs instead of processing small business tax returns. I showed up in my work clothes because screw their dress code. Clean Carhartt work pants, regional plumbing polo shirt with the regional supervisor patch, and steel-toed Red Wings that had walked through more honest work than Elias had seen in his entire career. Dad looked at my outfit like I'd tracked dog she through his marble foyer. Jordan, he said, cutting his prime rib, we need to discuss your contribution to Elias's celebration dinner. No congrats on your promotion, son. No, we're proud of your achievement. Straight to the wallet extraction. Elias's achievement deserves proper recognition, Mom chimed in, and is the only family member with a recent windfall. Windfall? I stopped chewing. You mean the bonus I earned busting my ass for 8 years? Language, Jordan, Mom snapped. Dad leaned forward with that look from childhood, the disappointed father expression that said I was screwing up just by existing. 600 would cover the dinner, drinks, and a proper graduation gift for Elias. Given your circumstances, it seems appropriate. My circumstances. You mean having an actual useful skill that people pay serious money for? I can't do 600, I said. The room went dead quiet. In my family, no wasn't a word you heard often. Elias stopped cutting his meat. Mom's fork froze halfway to her mouth. Dad's face started getting red. Excuse me? Dad's voice dropped to that dangerous level I remembered from high school. I said I can't. I won't. That's a decent chunk. I have plans for that money. Elias finally spoke up, his voice carrying that entitled tone of someone who'd never heard the word no. What plans could possibly be more important than family, Jordan? And there it was. The question that had been hanging over my head for 32 years. What could be more important than bankrolling Elias's achievements while my own got ignored? Hold up, I said, setting down my fork. You still got the nerve to speak about family while I financially supported all of you over the years? That's different, Mom protested. That's what family does for each other. Is it? Because when I called you about my promotion, the biggest achievement of my career, your phone went straight to voicemail. But Elias gets promoted to middle management and suddenly everyone's available for celebration planning. Elias's face was flushed. That's not fair, Jordan. We've always supported you. Really? When was the last time you asked about my work that wasn't related to needing a favor or free repair service? Silence. I reminded them with all the planning around money. The dismissive comments about my plumbing thing. The jokes about manual labor and sewage smell. I've been watching you plan around me, talk about me like I'm the hired help instead of family. Dad's face was red now. Stop being soft. These are family discussions. Screw family. You can all play family without me. I'm out. That caught them off guard. As I walked toward the door, Elias called after me with panic in his voice. Jordan, come on, don't be like this. I stopped and looked back at him. Elias, remember that favor with Metro Manufacturing? I got you the meeting with Tom. Tom's becoming one of my biggest clients now. Guess who's not getting that referral? The silence was beautiful. Walking out without apologizing felt like taking off steel-toed boots after a 16-hour emergency call. For the first time in my life, I'd stood my ground without backing down, without being the bigger person, without letting them guilt me into submission. It felt pretty damn good. My phone rang at 11:17 p.m. Uncle Billy's name on the screen. Billy is Dad's younger brother, the black sheep who went into construction instead of soul-crushing office work. He'd been my real father figure since I was 12, teaching me that working with your hands wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was something to be proud of. Heard you told your old man to pound sand tonight, he said, and I could feel the grin in his voice. Yup, news travels fast. Your dad called me yapping about disrespectful children and family loyalty. Told him maybe if he'd shown you some loyalty or respect over the years, this wouldn't be a problem. Billy laughed. He hung up on me. I told him everything. The promotion, the 25,000 signing bonus, the family group chat revelations, the dinner disaster where they expected me to bankroll Elias's celebration while ignoring my own achievement. 25 grand, Billy said. That's real money, Jordan. What are you thinking of doing with it? Remember that garage space on Industrial Avenue? The one that's been for sale for 6 months? The one with the 3 bays and office space? Good location, close to the highway? I've been thinking about starting my own operation. Jordan's Plumbing and Mechanical. Be my own boss. Build something that belongs to me. Billy was quiet for a minute, and I could hear him thinking, you know what, kid? That's the smartest thing I've heard in years. Screw working to make other people rich. He paused. You want a business partner? I've got some capital saved up, and I'm tired of working for regional construction. I sat up straighter. Billy had been in construction for 22 years, built half the commercial buildings in 3 counties. His reputation was bulletproof. Wait, are you serious? Dead serious. You handle plumbing and mechanical systems? I'll handle electrical and general contracting. Full-service commercial outfit. The building's listed at $250. Figure another $40 for equipment and operating capital. So $290 total. Your 25, my 100, business loan for the rest. With our combined client lists and experience, the bank would approve that financing in a heartbeat. Just like that, we spent the next 3 hours sketching out a business plan on napkins at Billy's kitchen table. I like it. Your dad's gonna lose his mind when he sees that name on a business license. The next morning, Elias called while I was replacing a grease trap at Murphy's Diner. Jordan, what the hell was that last night? That was me standing up for myself for the first time in my life. Mom's been crying all morning. Dad's talking about changing his will. Good for him. Maybe he can leave everything to his favorite son. Come on, bro. What about Metro Manufacturing? I've got that meeting Tuesday. This could make my entire career. Even in the middle of our family crisis, he was still thinking about what I could do for him. That's your meeting, Elias. Sink or swim on your own merit. You can't be serious. Dead serious. You wanted to take credit for landing that meeting through your own networking? Here's your chance to prove you deserve it. I hung up and went back to work. Saturday morning, Billy and I met at the garage space with Selena, the realtor who'd been trying to move the property for 8 months. The building was perfect for our needs. The previous owner had run a transmission shop, so the bays were already set up with hydraulic lifts, compressed air lines, and industrial electrical. Concrete block construction, built in '87, Selena explained. The roof was replaced 3 years ago. Electrical was updated to current code, and the previous owner left most of the equipment. Billy walked through each bay, checking structural integrity and mechanical systems. I examined the plumbing and HVAC setup. Everything was solid. What's the timeline on closing? Billy asked. Sellers motivated? Previous business failed during COVID. He just wants out. 30 days if you've got financing lined up. Billy and I exchanged glances. We'd already talked to Regional Bank about the loan application. We'll take it, Billy said. The bank meeting was easier than expected. Regional Bank's business loan officer, Patricia, had known Billy for 15 years. It's refreshing to see people with actual experience and a solid business plan, she said, reviewing our application. Quick pause, fellas. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way. Thanks so much for your support. All right, back to the drama. Most startups are just dreams and wishful thinking. You two have the track record to make this work. She approved our loan application on the spot. $165,000 at 4.2% interest with the building as collateral. We closed on a Wednesday afternoon. Standing in that empty garage with the keys in my hand felt surreal. After 15 years of working for other people's dreams, I owned something. Billy and I worked nights and weekends transforming the space. New air compressors, modern diagnostic equipment, customer seating area, and an office with actual furniture instead of folding chairs. The sign was Billy's masterstroke. Family Plumbing and Mechanical, painted across the front window in bold blue letters visible from the street. Not subtle, not hiding. We were here to compete. Our first hire was Maria, a bookkeeper who'd worked with half the contractors in town. She took one look at our setup and nodded approvingly. You guys actually know what you're doing. Most contractors think business management means keeping receipts in a shoebox and hoping for the best. Our second hire was Jimmy, fresh out of trade school, 22 years old, hungry to learn and prove himself. I heard you're the best plumber in 3 counties, Jimmy said during his interview. I want to learn from someone who knows what they're doing. By October, we were operational. 3 service vans with Family Plumbing and Mechanical logos, full commercial equipment loadouts, and enough contracts to keep us busy through New Year's. Our first major job was retrofitting Millfield Elementary School's entire plumbing system. $35K contract spread over 6 weeks. The kind of project that establishes credibility with other institutional clients. Meanwhile, Elias's world was quietly imploding in slow motion. His Tuesday meeting with Tom had gone exactly as I'd expected. Tom did his homework before choosing vendors. Professional accounting services was fine for basic bookkeeping, but Tom needed someone who understood industrial accounting standards, equipment depreciation schedules, and manufacturing cost analysis. Elias didn't have those skills. His firm specialized in small business tax returns and basic payroll processing. They were way out of their league bidding for Metro Manufacturing's account. 3 months later, Elias still hadn't heard back. His panic calls to me started immediately after radio silence from Metro, but I wasn't answering his calls anymore. I had real work to do. Billy walked into the office one Friday afternoon with coffee and a satisfied grin that meant good news. Just got off the phone with Metro Industries, he said. They want a quote for renovating their entire facility. Could be a $120,000 job. Metro Industries, the biggest manufacturing plant in the county, 400 employees, contracts with automotive companies across the Midwest. How'd we get on their radar? Remember that emergency call you handled for them last year? 3 a.m., waist-deep water in their basement, 18 straight hours to get their production line back online? I remembered. Burst mainline had flooded their entire lower level. Without heat and power, they would have lost a week's worth of production orders. I'd worked straight through, coordinating with electricians and HVAC techs to get everything operational. Their plant manager, Bill, never forgot. When they decided to renovate, your name was the first one that came up. You know what this means? What? If we land Metro Industries, we're not a startup anymore. We're legitimate players in the commercial market. Billy raised his coffee cup. We're not working for other people's dreams anymore, Jordan. We're building our own. 3 days later, Bill himself called to schedule a site visit. Family Plumbing and Mechanical was in the running for the biggest contract we'd ever seen. We got the Metro Industries contract, $125,000 for complete facility renovation over 6 months. Mechanical systems, plumbing upgrade, HVAC integration, the works. Billy and I spent an entire weekend reviewing blueprints, scheduling subcontractors, and planning material deliveries. This wasn't just a job. It was the foundation for everything we'd build afterward. 3 weeks into the Metro project, my phone started going crazy. Elias calling repeatedly. I ignored the first dozen calls because I was 40 feet underground replacing a main sewer line. On the 15th call, I finally answered. What? Jordan, thank God. I need a huge favor. Like career-saving huge. 6 months of family silence. And now he needed something. The balls on this guy were almost impressive. Remember that Metro manufacturing connection? The meeting with Tom? It didn't go well. Actually, it went terribly. I haven't heard back from them in 3 months. I need you to call Tom. Put in another good word. Maybe suggest they reconsider our proposal. I stopped working and leaned against a concrete support beam, letting his desperation sink in. Elias, I gave you the introduction. The rest was supposed to be your competence. This could make me a partner at the firm, Jordan. I'm talking about my entire future here. Partner at Professional Accounting Services, the accounting equivalent of being crowned king of a cardboard castle. I'm not calling anyone to clean up your screw-up, Elias. Fine, be a selfish prick. But don't come crying to us when your little plumbing business goes under. Don't think you are so much better than us now. Everything will fail because you turned your back on your family. Karma will never forget. That was interesting. Little plumbing business. We were 3 weeks into a 6-figure contract with the biggest manufacturer in the county. That Saturday night, after putting in a full day on the Metro Industries project, I was updating our project timeline when I made a decision that would nuke my family's world permanently. I found the photo Billy had taken of us in front of the garage 2 weeks earlier. Both of us in clean family plumbing and mechanical work shirts, standing beside 3 service vans with our company logo prominently displayed. Behind us, you could see the professional signage, the clean bay doors, the kind of operation that looked like serious business. 2 professionals who'd built something from nothing. The caption was surgical precision. Promotion, gift to myself. Family plumbing and mechanical. Open for business. I posted it across Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn with the same caption. Then I set the phone face down on my desk and grabbed a drink to wait for the explosion. It took exactly 14 minutes. My phone started vibrating like a paint mixer having a seizure. 23 missed calls in the first 10 minutes. The family group chat was hemorrhaging messages faster than a burst water main. Billy looked up from his blueprints. Looks like they saw it. The family group chat had exploded with 50 new messages. Mom, where did you get money for a business? Call me immediately. Dad, this is completely irresponsible. What will people think? Elias, you're embarrassing the family name. Take the post down now. Aunt Caroline, how can a plumber afford a business? Something doesn't add up here. Dad, emergency family meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Be there. Emergency meeting. Like I declared war instead of starting a legitimate business, the individual text messages were even more revealing. Mom, Jordan, honey, I'm sure this seemed like a good idea, but you're clearly in over your head. Come home and we'll figure out how to fix this quietly before you lose everything. Dad, this stunt ends now. You're not qualified to run a company. You're going to embarrass this family and lose your shirt. Elias, what the hell, Jordan? You used your bonus to compete with actual businesses instead of supporting family? This is insane. I deleted all the messages without responding and headed to bed. We had real work in the morning. Sunday morning, Tom from Metro Manufacturing called my personal cell. Jordan, got a minute? Had an interesting conversation this week. Your brother called about that accounting contract again. Third time in 2 months. Said you'd specifically recommended I give his firm another serious look. Elias and his lies. Tom, I got Elias the initial meeting because he asked for a family favor. That's as far as my involvement went. I don't know anything about their competence. Tom chuckled. That's what I figured. Your reputation means something to me, Jordan. I wasn't going to risk our business relationship based on phone calls. Speaking of business, we just landed that renovation contract with Metro Industries. Billy and I are expanding into full commercial services. Metro Industries? That's Bill Henderson's operation. Good people. Actually, Tom paused. Metro Manufacturing is part of Industrial Group. Same parent company as Metro Industries. Corporate office wants to discuss maintenance contracts for all 15 facilities across 4 states. That's when it clicked. Metro Manufacturing, where Elias failed, was a subsidiary of Industrial Group, which also owned Metro Industries, where we just landed the big contract. We'd definitely be interested in discussing expanded opportunities. I'll set up a meeting for next week. This could be very big for family plumbing and mechanical. The family's discomfort with my independence wasn't my burden to carry. I was finally building something that belonged to me. Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. sharp. The family emergency meeting to discuss the Jordan problem. I showed up in my family plumbing and mechanical polo shirt and steel-toed Red Wings. Not work clothes anymore. This was my company uniform. The uniform of a business owner who'd built something from scratch. The whole family was assembled around Dad's dining room table like a corporate board meeting. Dad at the head, naturally, with Mom on his right side. Elias and his wife across from Aunt Caroline. An empty chair waiting for me like a defendant's seat. I walked in carrying a manila folder and set it on the table like evidence at a murder trial. Dad started before I'd even sat down, his voice carrying that authoritative tone he'd used to control family dynamics for 30 years. This business venture ends now, Jordan. You're not qualified to run a company. You're going to lose everything, and you're embarrassing this family in the process. Actually, I am qualified. I spread out my master plumber's license, contractor's license, and business registration papers. Everything's legal and properly filed with the state. This isn't about paperwork, Mom said. This is about family. You're tearing us apart with your selfishness. Funny thing about selfishness. I opened my folder wider and pulled out the first batch of screenshots. I brought some documentation. The family group chat conversations came out like playing cards. Every discussion where they'd planned around my money. Every dismissive comment about my plumbing thing. Every misspelling of my name. This is from last Christmas, I said, spreading out screenshots. Quote, thank God Jordan's working overtime so we don't have to get him anything expensive. That's you, Mom. Mom's face went pale. You weren't supposed to see that. Here's my personal favorite, I continued, pulling out the Metro conversation. We don't need them thinking we need a plumber to get professional business. That's about the introduction Elias screwed up. I reached into my folder for the nuclear option, printed bank statements, and a financial ledger I'd been keeping. Here's my financial contribution to this family over the last 5 years. I spread out the documentation. Elias's wedding, $2,500 that became a gift. Various celebrations and family emergencies, $4,300 total. I slid another paper across the table. Here's what this family has contributed to my achievements. $0 and zero recognition. We gave you a roof over your head for 18 years, Dad started. That's called being a parent, not doing me a favor. I stood up. You want to know what's tearing this family apart? It's not my success. It's your inability to see me as anything more than a walking wallet with useful connections. Where's this going, Jordan? Elias asked. And for the first time, genuine panic crept into his voice. It's going exactly where it needs to go. I'm done trying to earn a place in a family that sees me as the hired help. You can't just walk away from family, Aunt Caroline said. Watch me. I headed for the door, then stopped for the final kill shot. Elias, remember that favor with Metro Manufacturing? That introduction you've been lying about to Tom? His face went white. Tom called me this morning. Apparently, you've been telling him I personally vouched for professional accounting services capabilities, calling him multiple times, name-dropping me as a reference. The room was dead silent. I set the record straight. Tom appreciated the honesty, especially since he was starting to question my judgment based on your persistent calls. I smiled. Family Plumbing and Mechanical is getting additional contracts with Industrial Group because of it. You could hear Elias's sharp intake of breath. See, here's the thing about reputation in the trades. It's built on actual performance, not family connections or persistent phone calls. Tom trusts me because I've earned that trust over 15 years of delivering results. You tried to trade on that trust without earning it yourself? If you walk out that door, don't expect to come crawling back when this business fails, Dad called after me, his voice cracking with rage. I stopped and turned around for the final destruction. Dad, in 6 months, Family Plumbing and Mechanical has landed a six-figure contract with Metro Industries, hired 3 full-time employees, and established commercial relationships across 3 counties. We're booked solid through next summer and expanding into additional service areas. His face was going through different colors. But thanks for the vote of confidence. Really means a lot coming from a guy who sells life insurance policies and thinks that makes him a business expert. You're making the biggest mistake of your life, he said. No, Dad. The biggest mistake of my life was spending 32 years trying to earn respect from people who were never going to give it. Standing in their driveway afterward, I felt something I'd never experienced after a family confrontation. Peace. I drove straight to the Metro job site. Billy was there working on Sunday, because that's what business owners do when they've got deadlines to meet. How'd the emergency family meeting go? He asked. I fired them. Fired who? My family. They're no longer in charge of my self-worth, my financial decisions, or my business relationships. Billy grinned and handed me a wrench. Good. Now help me finish this valve installation. We've got real work to do. The next morning, Family Plumbing and Mechanical got a call from Industrial Group. Tom's parent company wanted to discuss a multi-year maintenance contract for 15 facilities across 4 states. Turns out cutting toxic people out of your life makes room for real opportunities. 1 year later, Family Plumbing and Mechanical isn't just surviving. We're absolutely crushing the commercial plumbing and mechanical services market in ways that would make my family's collective head explode. The numbers tell the story. $450,000 in annual revenue, 12 full-time employees, including 2 master plumbers we poached from Regional Plumbing with better pay and profit sharing. Fleet of 8 service vehicles with Family Plumbing and Mechanical logos visible from space. We bought the building next door 6 months ago and expanded into HVAC, electrical, and general contracting. Full-service commercial outfit handling everything from emergency repairs to new construction projects. The Industrial Group contract alone is worth $100,000 annually. But the real victory isn't the money. It's the respect. Last month, I spoke at the Regional Contractors Association annual conference about building a successful service business from scratch. Me, the guy once dismissed as having a plumbing thing, giving advice to contractors with decades of experience. 400 people stood up and applauded, including 3 guys from Regional Plumbing who'd been my supervisors 2 years earlier. The family's reaction to my success has been a masterclass in damage control and gradual surrender. Elias was the first to crack, naturally. Professional Accounting Services lost 6 major clients after word spread about his reputation issues with Industrial Group. Turns out lying about professional references is a small-town death sentence when everyone knows everyone. 6 months after our nuclear family meeting, he called while I was reviewing blueprints for a new office complex. Jordan, I screwed up. I shouldn't have tried to use your name without permission. I definitely shouldn't have lied to Tom about your endorsement. Yes, you shouldn't have. Professional Accounting Services is struggling. We lost the Regional Plumbing account. Metro Manufacturing dropped us, and 3 other clients didn't renew contracts. His voice cracked. I was wondering, would you put in a good word with any of your commercial clients who might need accounting services? The irony was absolutely beautiful. The guy who'd called my business a plumbing thing and expected me to bankroll his celebrations was now begging me to save his career. I'll think about it, I told him. I did think about it, for about 10 seconds. Then I called Maria, our bookkeeper, and asked if she knew any reputable accounting firms for client referrals. She recommended 3 firms with solid commercial experience and clean reputations, all of them better qualified than Professional Accounting Services. I didn't recommend Elias. Why would I? Lowell. Mom started showing up at the garage around month 8 with coffee and awkward small talk. She never apologized directly, but she stopped spelling my name wrong and started asking actual questions about the business. This is really impressive, Jordan. I had no idea your operation was so substantial. Progress from plumbing thing, I guess. Dad took longer to capitulate. About 4 months ago, he finally showed up ostensibly to get a quote on repiping his house. But he stayed for 3 hours, watching us work, asking questions about our equipment and processes, clearly impressed despite himself. You know, this is actually pretty impressive, son. I never realized how complex commercial plumbing systems could be. We did repipe his house, charged him our standard residential rate, $8,500 for complete replumbing with modern materials and fixtures. No family discount, no special favors. He paid the invoice without complaint and left a 5-star Google review. Family Plumbing and Mechanical did excellent work on our home plumbing renovation. Professional, timely, and fairly priced. Highly recommend for any plumbing needs. The sweet revenge came 3 weeks ago. Professional Accounting Services annual holiday party. The kind of professional networking event they used to exclude me from because I wouldn't fit in with the business crowd. This year, Elias called personally to invite me. Desperation obvious in every word. Brother, we're having our annual holiday party next Friday. My wife and I would really love for you to come. It's been too long since we've spent time together. Actually, brother, I can't make it. Family Plumbing and Mechanical is sponsoring the Regional Contractors Association dinner the same evening. What I didn't mention was that Billy and I were being honored as Emerging Business of the Year by the Contractors Association. We'd be sitting at the head table while industry leaders came to ask about expansion opportunities. Well, actually, we're looking for someone to handle beverage service for the party. You wouldn't happen to know anyone reliable, would you? I knew someone. My buddy Rick runs high-end mobile bartending for corporate events, weddings, and upscale parties. Sure, I can make that introduction. But Elias? This is a business referral, not a family favor. Family Plumbing and Mechanical gets a standard finder's fee if you book him through my recommendation. You want to charge us for a referral? That's how professional referrals work in the business world. Value has a price, and my professional relationships have value. Long pause. How much? Standard rate is 5% of the contract value. Rick typically charges around $900 for a party your size, so $45 finder's fee. His pride was probably hemorrhaging, but professional accounting services needed the help. He booked Rick and paid our invoice without further argument. The kid once dismissed as having a little plumbing business is now bidding on projects that established contractors with decades of experience can only dream about. The best part? My family pays full commercial rates for everything now. Dad's replumbing job, Mom's garbage disposal repair, Elias's referral fees, all standard pricing like any other customer. Just like it should have been all along. Success is really the best revenge.